It is because he wanted me to move to Detroit and stop singing and not use this. I don't.
What awful rumors has Patti LaBelle faced in her incredible career? At 80 years old, is she finally addressing the truth? Has she dealt with hidden struggles or shocking betrayals? Why do these rumors keep coming up after so many years in the spotlight?
You are my friend.
How has Patti stayed strong through it all? Let's take a closer look at the challenges this legendary singer has faced.
Well, as a child, I was very shy. I would sing in the bedroom with a broom, pretending the broom was a microphone. And I would throw down. I mean, I was awesome.
Before soul music became huge in the 1970s, there was Patti LaBelle. Known as the Godmother of soul, Patti helped put Philadelphia on the music map. She mixed soul, rock, and even early disco to create a unique sound. But her path to becoming a music legend wasn't easy.
So I started practicing as a child to become a singer. The first time I sang with my choir rehearsals, my choir director would not let me sing with the background.
Patti was born as Patricia Louise Holt on May 24, 1944 in Philadelphia. Her father, Henry, worked on the railroad but also sang in nightclubs. Her mother, Bertha, took care of the family. Life wasn't perfect for Patti, even though they weren't poor. When she was just 12, her parents separated because her mom faced years of abuse. Patti stayed close to her dad, who passed away later. As a child, Patti was shy and quiet. People didn't expect her to become a music star. She even thought she'd become a housewife. In a documentary about her life, Patti shared, "I was very shy and introverted. I didn't think I'd become a singer. I kept a lot of my feelings inside." But her life took a darker turn when she faced another traumatic experience. After her parents' divorce, Patti was assaulted by a family friend. It was a painful memory she kept to herself for many years. Through all this, Patti found comfort and strength in her church. Singing in the choir became her escape and a way to grow her musical talent.
But you have to. She said, God has blessed you with something that's so special, you can't hide it with the chorus. You have to go out as a solo performer. I said, Miss Chapman, I can't. Honey, she made...
When Patti LaBelle was growing up, she loved listening to different kinds of music, like R&B and jazz. These styles of music shaped her love for singing. At 16, Patti entered a talent competition at her high school, John Bartram High School. She won the contest, and this victory led to her first singing group called the Ordettes in 1960. Patti was the lead singer, and the group became popular in their town. But like many journeys to success, it wasn't easy. Two of the group members left to get married, and one had to quit because her father didn't want her to sing anymore.
When we came in to audition for him, he had a record label. His name was Harold B. Robinson. And he had a recording studio in his basement of the car dealership. And when he saw me, he said, oh no, she's too black.
Success in music doesn't happen overnight. Patti LaBelle's story shows us that it takes a lot of hard work, practice, and the right people to help you along the way. It's a long journey, and even when things get tough, keeping at it can lead to big dreams coming true.
He said, but we brought them here so that you could hear them. So he said, sing, you never walk alone. I sang, and that man almost fell on his knees. He said, oh my God, she's ugly, but she can sing. So I knew that we had to sing.
Anyway, the group had to later include 3 new members, Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, and Cindy Birdsong. The 4 of them worked hard, performing every day at different venues along the East Coast. They had dropped out of high school to focus on music, hoping to make a name for themselves. Their big break came in 1962 with a song called I Sold My Heart to a Junk Man. But how they ended up recording that song is quite the story. A man named Harold B. Robinson, who was a car dealer trying to start a record label, had first worked with another girl group called the Starlets. He convinced them to record the song, even though they were signed to another label. The Starlets reluctantly agreed, and the song was recorded.
The first time she was on the Apollo stage, she was in a group called Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, and they were on the stage here at the Apollo in 1962. Her hit was I Sold My Heart to the Junk Man.
After starting his label, Newton Records, Robinson released a song. But instead of crediting the group that recorded it, the Starlets, he put the Bluebells on the label. Robinson then met a new group, the Ordettes, who later became Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, and asked them to record the same song, not knowing what had happened with the Starlets. When the song became popular, drama started. The Starlets' manager found out and sued Robinson. Patti LaBelle's group was caught in the middle of all this mess.
It was Sarah Dash, Nona Hendrix, Cindy Birdsong, and Patti LaBelle.
After the drama with Harold Robinson and the Starlets, the Bluebells recorded several top 40 hits. Things seemed to be going well, but in 1965, they switched to Atlantic Records. Sadly, their time with Atlantic didn't go as planned. The group struggled to match their earlier success. To make things worse, Cindy Birdsong left to join the Supremes, replacing Florence Ballard.
Anna Ross wanted Cindy Birdsong to replace Florence Ballard, so Cindy left us just standing one night, waiting for her to come out and play, and this thing was in Detroit with the Supremes. I said, that's cute.
By 1970, things started to change when British TV producer Vicky Wickman became their manager. She decided to rebrand the group as LaBelle and gave them a fresh, glittery rock style. This was a smart move.
We went on stage with just the three of us, and we realized that we were going to be the three of us. Let's change our name. And we ended up being three. I said, let's not look.
LaBelle reached new heights of fame with hits like Lady Marmalade, their first #1. One song on the Billboard chart. In her book, Don't Block the Blessings, Patti LaBelle shared some of the group's amazing accomplishments. They were the first black pop act to perform at the Metropolitan Opera House and the first black vocal group to appear on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. That's pretty special, right? But despite all the success, things weren't always perfect. By the mid-1970s, the group started to fall apart because the three members couldn't agree on the kind of music they wanted to make. Patti wanted soul ballads, Nona liked glam rock, and Sarah preferred disco. The differences caused a lot of tension. During a show in December 1976, Nona walked off stage before the last song. She had a breakdown and was rushed to the hospital. After that, the group decided to end things. Patti LaBelle shared a shocking story from her early days in the music business. It happened during one of her tours in the 1960s when she was just starting her career. At that time, Jackie Wilson, a famous singer known as Mr. Excitement, was already a big star. In her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, Patti talked about a scary experience she had backstage at the Brevoort Theater in Brooklyn, New York. She was alone when someone came up behind her and started kissing her neck. When Patti turned around, she saw that it was Jackie Wilson. She could smell alcohol on his breath. Things quickly got worse. Jackie Wilson and another man tried to grab Patti and take her into a locked room. Patti was scared because she was alone and didn't have any way to defend herself. But instead of staying quiet, she screamed as loud as she could. Her screams scared the men, and they let her go. Patti was able to escape and avoid what could have been much worse. Patti decided to share this story because it was an important part of her life. What's interesting is that Jackie Wilson never denied what happened that night. By speaking out, Patti showed a lot of courage. Her story helped bring attention to the challenges women face, especially behind the scenes in the music industry.
It is because he wanted me to move to Detroit and stop singing and not use this. I don't.
Did you know that Patti LaBelle was once engaged to Otis Williams, a founding member of the Temptations? It's true, this happened in the early 1960s, when both were starting to make their mark in music. Their relationship was short but meaningful, and it had a big impact on both of their lives. Patti and Otis met when Patti was just beginning to gain attention in the music world. At the time, Otis was already a well-known star with the Temptations, one of the biggest groups in the country. They met when the Temptations came to Philadelphia for a show, and sparks flew right away. They started dating, and things were exciting and romantic at first. But as time went on, Patti started to wonder if she was really in love with Otis or just in love with his fame. After a while, Otis proposed to Patti, and she said yes. However, as their relationship continued, Patti began having second thoughts. Otis wanted her to move to California and step away from her music career to focus on being a wife and starting a family. Patti loved Otis, but she loved her music even more.
I said very nicely, the engagement is off. I have to sing for the rest of my life, no matter what. If they weren't paying me.
In her autobiography, Don't Block the Blessings, Patti talked about how hard this decision was. In the end, she chose to follow her dream of being a singer over marriage. Otis respected her decision, and they remained friends after their engagement ended. Now back to her career. When the group LaBelle broke up, many thought Patti LaBelle would instantly become a big solo star. I mean, her first solo album, Patti LaBelle, seemed like a strong start. The album included songs like Joy to Have Your Love,
Such a joy to feel your love. Never said
Dance With Me,
come on and dance with me. I ain't gonna wait all night.
and You Are My Friend.
You are my friend.
Critics loved it, and it felt like Patti was on her way to a great solo career. LaBelle's career didn't go as planned after her first album. Her next 3 albums, Tasty, It's All Right With Me, and Released, didn't do well. They didn't sell much, and Patti wasn't getting the attention she deserved. This must have been tough for her because she was used to success with her group. By 1981, Patti decided to leave Epic Records and try something new. She signed with Philadelphia International Records and released another album, but it didn't change her luck right away. Around this time, Patti decided to try something different: Broadway. She started performing in shows, using her amazing voice in a new way. Even though things were hard, Patti didn't give up on music. In 1983, while still doing Broadway, she recorded a song called The Best Is Yet to Come. That same year, she released I'm in Love Again, an album that finally turned things around. The album included the hit song If Only You Knew, which became very popular. This album sold over 500,000 copies and went gold, proving that Patti still had what it took to succeed. After years of struggle, this was the start of a fantastic period in Patti LaBelle's career.
New developments in the lawsuit against Patti LaBelle. Her bodyguards are accused of attacking a West Point cadet at the Houston airport. Now, the victim claims he was merely standing near LaBelle's luggage when one of her...
After the Harold Robinson controversy early in her career, Patti LaBelle's record for avoiding lawsuits and controversies was spotless throughout the rest of the century. However, in more recent times, it seems like trouble has followed her around. Whether it's because of her diva status or just bad luck, there have been a few lawsuits against Patti LaBelle and her team. One of the biggest rumors about Patti LaBelle was that she had a feud with the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. The media loved to talk about this supposed fight, with fans choosing sides between LaBelle, known as the Godmother of Soul, and Franklin. But according to the HuffPost, both singers denied any feud. In fact, when Franklin passed away in 2018, she wanted LaBelle to sing at her memorial service, according to the Philadelphia Tribune. So it seems like the rumors were just that, rumors. In 2010, singer Patti LaBelle faced a big problem. CNN shared that she paid $100,000 to settle a case from 2008. A mother and her 18-month-old child claimed that LaBelle had attacked them in a New York lobby. They said LaBelle yelled at them, used bad words, and threw water at the woman. LaBelle and her team said this was not true. Later, in 2011, another issue came up. LaBelle was sued because her security guards hurt a cadet from West Point. The cadet got too close to LaBelle's car, and her guards knocked him out. ABC News said LaBelle was not involved in the attack, but her guards were. In 2014, the court decided in favor of LaBelle's security team, and she was removed from the lawsuit.
Beating. King's attorney stated, quote, anyone who is seeking the truth in this will see clearly that Richard was attacked by these people with no provocation whatsoever. The video confirms it, witnesses confirm it, and now...
Also, much of Patti's success has come with the sadness of losing her close family members. Tragically, all 3 of her sisters passed away from cancer before reaching the age of 50. In her book, Don't Block the Blessings, Patti shared the heartbreaking story of how she lost her sisters. Her eldest sister, Vivian Hogan Rogers, died first at just 43 years old from lung cancer. Then Patti's younger sister, Barbara Holte Purifoy, also died young at 40 from colon cancer. Her youngest sister, Jacqueline Holte Paget, passed away from brain cancer at the same age, 43. Losing these sisters left a huge hole in Patti's heart. But there was one moment with her youngest sister that still haunts her.
I may be known for my powerhouse singing voice, but right now, I want you to listen to this. The #1 cancer women face is breast cancer.
Patti LaBelle has faced a lot of tough moments in her life, but she has never given up. One of the most painful memories she shared in an interview with Oprah was the day before her sister Jacqueline passed away. Jacqueline asked Patti to make her an egg sandwich, and Patti promised to do it the next day. Sadly, her sister passed away before they could meet again, and Patti still feels the sadness from that promise left unfulfilled.
While advances have been made in prevention, early diagnosis, and treatment through research, Black women have a 41% higher rate of death.
But Patti's loss didn't stop there. She also lost both of her parents. Her father passed away from Alzheimer's disease, and her mother died from diabetes. Losing her mother was especially difficult for Patti because she later learned she also had diabetes. Diabetes runs in her family, and she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes after she collapsed during a performance in 1995. When she woke up, her doctor told her about the diagnosis. Patti was angry at first because she had seen the damage diabetes caused in her family. Her mother had to have amputations, and her aunt went blind from the disease. Despite these challenges, Patti didn't let diabetes defeat her. She took control of her health. She started exercising with a trainer and changed her diet to eat healthier meals. She even wrote cookbooks and created her own line of sauces called Patti's Good Life. She also became a spokesperson for diabetes awareness and worked with groups like the American Diabetes Association to help others facing the same disease. Patti has shared how she keeps her health in check while on the road for her music career. She makes sure to bring her own pots and pans so she can cook healthy meals wherever she goes. Giving up some of her favorite foods wasn't easy, but knowing how diabetes affected her family motivated her to make better choices. Patti's advice for others is simple: live your best life, and she certainly is. When it comes to her personal life, it has had its ups and downs, especially when it comes to her marriage to Armstead Edwards. Before they got married, Armstead was Patti's manager, but getting married wasn't easy. According to the Huffington Post, Armstead asked Patti to marry him 3 times before she finally asked him. She said, "He asked me to marry him 3 times and I said no. The 4th time I asked him." In 1969, Patti LaBelle and Armstead Edwards got married. 4 years later, they welcomed their son, Zuri, into the world. But they didn't stop there. They adopted 2 children from Patti's late sister, Jacqueline, and 2 more from their neighbor. So their family grew bigger and bigger, full of love. Sadly, like many couples, their marriage didn't last forever. After being together for over 30 years, Patti and Armstead decided to separate in 2000. 3 years later, they officially got divorced. Despite this, Patti always said their relationship remained respectful. In an interview with Country Living, she explained, "I never hated him. He never hated me. We just couldn't live together. We never fought, thank God, in 32 years. We got along even when we didn't get along." Even though they were no longer married, Patti and Armstead stayed good friends. They continued to care for their family together, showing that their bond didn't break. Patti still calls Armstead one of her best friends. In 2019, they even reunited to celebrate his birthday with their family. Patti shared this moment on Instagram, proving that their friendship stayed strong long after their marriage ended.
Performing her hit song Love and Need and Want You, give it up for the legendary Patti LaBelle.
Also, LaBelle is often called the greatest gay icon of all time. She's known for being one of the most loved and respected figures in both the LGBT community and the world of Black female artists. LaBelle herself has said that her gay fans are a huge reason she's still successful today. In an interview in 2017, she shared, "When I think about it, the gay fans are some of the reason I'm still standing, because they love me when other people tried not to." She went on to say that she still doesn't know why gay men love her so much, but she's thankful for it.
Belle, give us a little taste, Miss Patti.
I love you. I love you. Honey, I love you.
In an interview with the New York Post, LaBelle talked about how she has always spoken up for what is right. She said, "I'm very vocal about speaking my mind when I see injustice." She also mentioned that sometimes gay men and women feel afraid to speak out or show their true selves. That's why she feels like she's a voice for them. Patti LaBelle is not just a legendary singer. She is also known for being a supportive friend and a strong advocate for important causes. One of her closest friends was the late singer Luther Vandross. Patti once shared in an interview that Luther confided in her about his desire to come out and be open about his sexuality. However, he was scared of how his mother and female fans would react. This shows how much Patti's friendship meant to him during such a tough time. But Patti's work didn't stop with supporting her friends. During the HIV/AIDS crisis in the 1980s, she became a powerful advocate for people to get tested and take care of their health. In 1987, she worked with the National Minority AIDS Council to spread awareness with the Live Long Sugar campaign. The campaign encouraged people, especially people of color, to get tested for HIV and seek treatment. Patti's efforts were important in helping communities that were struggling during the crisis. Patti LaBelle is loved by so many people. In fact, the New York Times even called her one of America's most beloved divas, alongside other stars like Dolly Parton and Barbra Streisand. That shows just how much people adore her. A fun fact about Patti is that she is part of a popular web parody show called Got to Be Real. The show humorously looks at celebrities, and Patti's character is a fan favorite. Another funny moment from Patti's career is when her live performance of This Christmas at the National Tree Lighting Ceremony in 1996 went viral. The video became a holiday tradition because of Patti's funny reactions to some technical problems during the show. People loved it, and it's now a part of many people's holiday celebrations. Patti LaBelle's legacy goes far beyond music. Throughout her career, she has used her fame to stand up for justice and help the communities that have supported her. She continues to inspire and be a role model to people all around the world. Patti has done a lot over the years. She acted in the movie A Soldier's Story, which was nominated for an Academy Award. She also appeared in popular TV shows like A Different World and American Horror Story, Freak Show. In 1992, Patti had her own sitcom, Out All Night, and later in 2002, she hosted a show called Living It Up with Patti LaBelle on TV One. Even at 70 years old, Patti joined Dancing with the Stars in 2015, showing off her energy and love for life. She's also a successful businesswoman, selling her own products like bedding, cookbooks, and food. Her sweet potato pie became super famous in 2015 after a viral video made it popular. In just 3 days, Walmart sold one pie every second. Patti has sold over 50 million records around the world. She's received many awards, including being honored in the Grammy Hall of Fame and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Rolling Stone even named her one of the 100 greatest singers of all time. Patti LaBelle's voice and heart have made her a legend in many ways.